What is that last voyage of a ship which is about to reach its grave? I think in the Gujarat port only where the big ships come.
Alang.
Alang, right?
Biggest scrapyard. Biggest graveyard. In the
Biggest
world, they say.
graveyard for ships.
It's in Guinness Book of World Record.
So they come, they beach, and then what happens to them? I mean, it becomes a skeleton.
Yes.
So you were there when you were taking the ship from its last voyage to the scrapyard?
Yes. I've done 24 vessels, beached myself.
24 vessels, you put them to grave.
Grave. 448 meters.
448 meter ship.
My chief officer used to say, "Sir, सांस तो लेने देना anchor के और जाने के time." Like, let me catch my breath.
So I have to come back to this one. 448 meter ship. You took it
Beached, yeah.
and beached
And
it.
that was the biggest ship in 20 years in Alang.
You are the first ever Indian captain to receive the Heroes Award from IMRF and 6 rescues.
Yes.
Six.
Rescue, and I got recognized, and I was like, why?
Yeah, you must be like, this is just usual routine for
doing
me now.
your
Doing your
at
duty.
sea. Yes.
Right.
Well, God's grace.
Absolutely.
You are not the one to choose and help.
Yep.
It is just happening, and you're just doing your deed.
I want to get into salvage because now, as I know, you're into salvage operations.
Yes.
For a layman watching this, what is salvage operation?
Salvage is when a vessel sinks or a vessel is in distress or grounded. It cannot come back, cannot be revived. So the company takes a decision, the insurance takes a decision that it's a loss at sea and it will create more environmental hazards. So let us salvage it.
Okay. So how many salvage operations have you conducted till date, sir? Welcome back to the KSN show. Today we have a personality who is the first Indian captain to receive the Heroes Award from IMRF. He rescued 2 fishermen from a storm in Madagascar and he's going to explain step by step what exactly happened that day. Along with that, we are also going to understand what happens to a ship when it sinks and also decode what happens to a ship when it has reached its last voyage. That means it is going to get scrapped. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because a lot of content is coming up around these topics, so you will not miss them out. And I'm going to take you straight into the podcast because this is one of the most interesting ones we have covered on the KSN show. Captain Siddharth Sharma, welcome to the KSN show, sir. How are you?
Happy New Year
And
to
happy New
everybody.
Yes, absolutely. How are you today, sir?
All good.
Right, sir. It's an honor for us to have you here.
It's
And
an
I
honor
think
to come on your show.
Right, sir, absolutely. I think many of the audience today
Yes.
will get to witness something or hear a person who's been through things which most of us seafarers don't go in lifetimes.
Wait.
So I want you to first tell the audience a basic background of what you do, where you're from, and what's happening right now.
I'm born and brought up in Mumbai, and I started my cadetship in 1996 and sailed for 36 months because that time pre-sea was not there and we had to complete 36 months. So I had a couple of accidents that time as a cadet.
Okay.
That was my first company, and within 7 days I fell from the pontoon
Okay.
inside the hatch.
You fell down.
Fell down. Yeah,
Okay.
just 7 days new cadet.
Oof.
So because of that, I took a pre-sea break
Right, sir.
because no pre-sea training was there. So I took a break for physiotherapy
Right, sir.
and hospitalized, broke 4 bones of my body.
Okay.
And so all my cadets who had joined with me, they were like moving ahead. So I thought I'm wasting so much time here because of my medical grounds. So the next ship I joined, and I did 11 months at a stretch.
Right, sir.
And then to complete 36 months, I did 18 months at a stretch.
Arey.
So I let me have, because there was this thing that so many days, if it is less, then you have to join back again on the ship.
Okay.
So I said, let it be plus, not
Right.
minus.
Right, sir.
C period.
Acha. Okay.
So I did at a stretch 11 and 18 months.
I'll get back to that, sir, because that's something which a lot of cadets who are perhaps watching this will relate to. But for now, sir, you are the first ever Indian captain to receive the Heroes Award from IMRF.
Yes,
right, sir?
yes.
I want you to today take us back to that day, situation by situation, what happened and how you perhaps rescued the people on that stranded fishing boat.
So this vessel I had taken over from New Orleans, and we were coming from Madagascar, and Madagascar was hit by Eva tropical storm, if you know,
Okay.
2018.
Okay.
So the whole Madagascar was 75% destroyed due to that Eva tropical storm. So after Katrina, there was Eva tropical storm. So these two fishermen who were drifting from 3 days, we got a Mayday message 4-5 days back that there's no sign of these two fishermen,
Right, sir.
and their boat is named as Surya. So I just highlighted it and put it near the chart. So whoever comes, chart room. So whoever comes will have a lookout.
Right.
So luckily, I came up and I saw something flashing on the starboard side of the beam. So I just sat and something was shining and just went away. So I jumped out, ran outside
Right.
the beam and saw this two fishermen waving at us. Well, and they were like soaked.
Okay.
The
The boat was
the
still
boat
there.
was yes, the boat was still there, and water was still here, and they were like draining out. So what we do on the lifeboat, they were continuously draining themselves, draining out.
So the boat had perhaps a hole or something.
Yeah, the engine conked off and ingush of
The weather, yeah.
water.
So can you describe the weather at that time?
Oh, ever tropical storm, so it was bad.
Right, sir.
Waves were like massive waves coming through,
Like-
and we were on it's called ITB, so integrated tug and barge. So that was my first ship which I did like that.
Okay.
So due to I think insurance or something,
Right.
they go ahead with ITB vessels in New Orleans.
Acha.
So it's an integrated tug and barge. So it goes inside the barge, but it never opens.
Right.
It's got hydraulic system and all.
Okay. So it's like a tug inside a barge,
Inside the barge, locked,
and it's propelling the barge.
propelling the barge continuously. So it remains that way unless there's some engine problem. So a new tug will come and
Okay.
get
So
fixed to it.
so what was your route from where to where?
We were coming from New Orleans to Alang.
To Alang Shipyard.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bhavnagar.
So you were northbound from South Africa.
Yes.
Going
yes,
up?
Yes.
And where did you find the distress message of these fishermen?
Oh, when we were passing Madagascar, before that, South Africa.
Okay.
So that is how we came to know that these guys have been missing.
Right.
So then when I saw them, I took out my binoculars and saw the vessel name was, their boat, fiber boat name was Surya. So I like, oh, this is the same vessel what Mayday message we got.
Right.
So my third mate like, हाँ sir, यही वो है. So we planned to pick them up. So, and there was another vessel which was constrained by draft. It was a ship
Right.
which was semi-submersible, which was carrying 9 tugboats on it. So it could not go for that salvage.
Okay. That rescue.
Rescue.
So CBD, like a constrained by draft, is like it's got so much depth beneath that the ship has so much depth
Restricted
that
maneuverability.
the underkeel clearance is very less.
Less. Yes. So they could not, because the weather was very bad and we were empty. But on the barge, we had gantry cranes.
Okay.
So it was fixed on that barge
Okay.
to lift containers.
So what is a barge and what does it carry? Just for the audience.
Barge can carry over-dimensional cargoes.
Right.
Barge can carry, if it has got hull extended, it
Right.
can carry wheat, it can carry charcoal,
Right.
it can carry all bulk carriers.
And so how long was your tug and barge together?
That was 160 meters.
160 meters, and in perhaps force 12 winds, which
yes,
is
yes.
gusting to about 100 kilometers per hour plus
Yeah,
minimum.
The video is there.
The video is there.
Yes,
Yeah, I
yes,
think
yes, you
we'll
can-
stitch that video
we
also.
had to so we planned this guys to get them on board. So we made a call. I told the company that we've got these guys and they are from this boat. A Mayday message was relayed by MRCC. So we are going ahead. So the question was, Captain, Somalia is just ahead. So are you sure that these are not pirates acting?
Oh, yeah.
So I said, yeah, but they are like, we cannot see if they are drifting from 3 days or before that, they must be fishing maybe more than that.
Right.
So 5-6 days, we cannot see any beard. So I said, being a long time at sea, you know, the
Absolutely.
black guys don't get that much
beard. Absolutely.
And they've got some curls here and there.
Yeah.
And one guy was hit by the engine, the Yamaha engine, what they have on the fiber board.
Okay.
He was hit and there was the...
Like a scraped off
Yes,
from the head.
From the head. And when we got him up, that
So
was
I'll have to stop you here because I personally know how tough it is to recover something from the sea.
yes,
Could you
yes,
just
yes.
tell us, like, how was the procedure, perhaps, of recovering these persons?
So I was like, I was the one on the wheel
Hmm.
because you know your vessel
Right.
the best.
Yes.
So I was on the wheel, dead slow ahead. Then we put a stern just to be in their vicinity.
Right.
We took a turn and we could not find the boat because the swells were so high. And then we took a turn, then we located them back again. Then by the time we were waiting for the permission from the company. That,
Yeah.
yeah. So once we got a green ahead, go ahead, we came back and we shot 3 LTAs.
So what are LTAs?
LTAs, line throwing apparatus. So we shoot them on 45-degree angle.
Right.
So it's
The projectile, a rope
a rope.
projectile.
Yes, yes, yes.
Right. So I wanted to ask you this personally because rescue is not something which you personally do. It's a coordinated system
And
from
we're
the
not trained for it.
yeah, and you have to be trained for it. What is the process and procedures for a rescue mission to be conducted by a ship? So suppose your barge, you must have had some protocols, some procedures sent over. Could you elaborate on that?
Yes, yes. My whole crew, as soon as I told chief engineer, we call them Bada Saab, he was also young, 38 years old. So he was in full this thing that no, we'll call everybody. Whoever was sleeping, we call them up off duty.
Right, right.
And everybody on the deck, they were like pulling the rope when we had fired the LTA.
Yep.
And we fired 3 LTAs. And we were pulling them manually. And we say that
Yeah.
we'll throw a life buoy and
Correct.
pull them. Life buoy was not going through. And you have to maneuver very close to them to get closer to them with the boat.
And not kill them at that
And
time.
not kill them with your own propeller. Because the propeller will suck them. So you have to stop engines.
Absolutely.
And then you have to same time get closer and pick them up. And they didn't wanted to leave the boat. So and French guys.
Absolutely.
So communication gap again.
No English.
Yeah, no English. And that I came to know once they came on board.
Right.
So
So, like the LTA itself projecting, how far were they at that time from
they,
when
you can say 2 nautical miles away.
2 nautical miles?
And then we went closer, half a nautical mile, and then fired LTA through so that it doesn't hurt them
Yeah,
also.
yeah.
And it goes directly to them and looking at the wind direction. So you have to, if the boat is there, we were firing here.
Yes.
That's how we got them on the second one.
It's like firing into the wind so that it diverts it to the
diverts its
position.
way to the guys and they hold it.
Right,
And
sir.
once one guy was holding it,
yeah.
we asked him one. So we were like one jump.
Ah,
So one jumped, one was on the boat, and they wanted the boat to be towed as well. They didn't want it to because that's their
bread and butter.
no, that's their life. They were thinking that if we leave this,
Yeah.
maybe if this vessel goes away, what will we do? So you have that love for your boat.
Absolutely, sir. So, you and I, of course, know this, that the most safest place in a storm is your ship,
Your ship,
right?
correct.
And for these particular gentlemen, it was not the case anymore.
Yes, it
Right,
was
sir?
sinking.
And it was sinking.
Yes, and we say कि तूफान में किसका भला हुआ है. So we don't know because of that tropical storm, monsoon water, rainwater, they were harvesting. So they had all canopies around the boat, floating half water.
Right.
So they had thrown for drinking
Oh,
because they are sucking seawater every second,
yep.
and more seawater goes on your body, you
Faster
get
you-
dehydrated.
Yeah. Hmm.
And
Okay.
in the day, it was so terrifying. You believe in the night, hats off to these guys. They were,
Absolutely. Okay, sir, let's jump to that part. When you got these guys up, what was their mindset? What was going on in their mind?
I don't want to say this, but they were like literally like God. Means we are like God to them. They were touching everybody's feet who have pulled them, the whole crew. They came to know I am a captain. They were touching my feet and they're like, you're God, you're a savior. I said, so we are like Masiha, you can say, a messenger.
Absolutely.
But we are not God. God is there and He has helped you.
Absolutely.
They were eating raw fish, imagine, for 3 days. Fishermen,
Yep,
so
yep.
they can catch fishes.
Yep.
But due to the tropical storm which had hit, the monsoon rains, they got saved because they were drinking water.
So they were like in a traumatic kind of a situation.
Yes. This guy who got the first
Cut,
one,
yeah.
he's got chopped on his head due to the Yamaha engine.
Yeah.
So I gave him Dolo 650,
Right,
our
right.
local medicine.
Yep.
Gave him my clothes. A chief officer gave his towel to him. We drained him. We put Bisleri bottles to clean them.
The salt.
Yeah, as soon as they were sitting on the grading, they could not walk. They were like rolling because they were 3 days. You can imagine.
So the body was
Yeah,
used
still
to that,
rolling on the deck.
and it was a
They were
stable deck.
shaking, yes,
Oof.
when we got them. And the worst part was we got him. So we went with the flow. So we have to start our engines again. So second guy we have to rescue again. So have you ever thrown a drum and then
Yeah.
man overboard?
Yeah.
That drill we do.
Drill Williamson
You'll
turns
never,
and
you never find the drum.
Yeah, absolutely.
So same thing happened. We got one and other guy we could not find. And we started this operation at 10 o'clock in the morning. 4 o'clock we got the first one.
It took you 6 hours
6 hours.
to get them retrieved from the
Get
water.
the permission from the company.
right.
By the time, keep them in vicinity. Tell them that we are there and we are coming back. Took around. Then we missed this other guy and the sun was setting. And you will not imagine we were in tears because see, two are helping each other. Like you and me.
Yep.
If you're on a boat, I am seeing you, you're seeing me, we can talk to each other, share our thing. If we don't find that guy before the sunset,
Right.
we'll never be able to find him till early morning, twilight.
Yeah, because sir, could you tell us how tough it is to do an operation like this at night?
Very tough, very tough.
Because people, I think, don't have any idea how powerful the lights are on the ship. They think the whole thing can get illuminated, but that is not
No,
the case.
yeah, they don't have any light.
And they don't have any light.
any mobile, no VHF, no means of communication with them.
Absolutely.
No engine, no food.
So when was the second guy rescued?
Luckily, we
Yeah.
went back. So what I had done is, my habit is to click photos of the lat long.
Right.
So
Okay.
whatever lat long was there, I had clicked a photo to message the company that
Right.
so and so lat long.
Right.
And MRCC was asking us again and again
Right.
that have you all located? Are these the guys? I said yes, these are the guys. The boat name is Surya, and they confirm all. So they had to inform the company.
Absolutely.
Their families also.
Right.
So I said one we have rescued, and he's saying his name is so and so. So my wife, she's a French teacher.
Oh, okay.
So I messaged her that how do you ask them their name in French,
Yep.
and how do I ask which part of world they are from. So then I could communicate with them, showing them the messages and speaking to them what my wife was typing for me in French, because they were like understanding nothing in English.
Absolutely. So, sir, when you were doing this operation, what was the morale of the crew doing this? Like,
Everybody was so happy, and once we got them both,
yeah.
you can see the video. We all shouted.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It was like
this full-
giving goosebumps to
Absolutely.
get these guys, because it's one soul saved. They said it's like 100
Absolutely.
in heaven.
Absolutely.
That's what they say.
And so I think I was researching about you last night. On there was a newspaper which put a very nice statement which you said about helping helping distressed vessels at sea.
At sea,
Like it's not your obligation. Like it's an obligation. It's a duty.
Yes.
Right,
yes,
sir?
yes.
So it was very profound, and I think at sea there is no one out there actually to help but your colleagues on the ships, because it's
That's your family.
that's your family, and it just it just goes to say that how alone we are at times,
At times.
and yet help will come in one way or the other. For them, you were their God sent gift for rescue.
Yes.
How did that make you feel once you did the operation?
Very nice, very nice. We all were in tears when we got them up, when we were taking them back to French Navy. That's what MRCC relayed the message, that you have to come to Mayotte. There's an island called Mayotte, which I didn't know.
Oh, I still don't know.
We don't know. It's a small island.
Okay.
It's not there on the map also.
Yeah.
So luckily we had egg disc, and it was loaded because Americans are American vessel,
Absolutely.
New Orleans. So
Okay.
we went there, closest point where we could meet the rendezvous position
Right.
for French Navy. And then they gave us a letter stating that so and so person, their names are so and so, and we have their ID,
Right.
and you can hand it over to us.
Right.
And they are the one who relayed the message to MRCC, the French Navy.
Right.
MRCC related the message to my company,
Okay.
and my company got hold of my wife at
Acha.
home. So she's like, "Arey, Better India wants to cover you.
Oh, right.
Trade Winds wants to
Right.
cover you."
Right. Right.
So I didn't know all this.
Yeah.
I did my job. We sailed back again. My
Yep.
company, I said, we were back on track.
Hmm.
We are coming to destination.
Hmm.
Once I reached, my mobile got 200 messages. I like, "Arey, what is happening?" So my wife was like, "Arey, you become a national hero." I said, "Why? What did I do?"
Yeah.
Because this was my
Yeah,
sixth
this-
rescue.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
So I was like just doing it because I thought it's my duty and God is
right, sir. Right.
chosen me to do that.
Absolutely.
So I was just doing it. But luckily MRCC got my company got hold of my wife, and she had to write a 3-page write-up for
Right,
me.
right. What
that
happened?
What happened.
Hmm. How did it make you feel, sir, when you? I mean, I know it's just an award or a medal, but internally you must be feeling
Yes, you
really
feel
peace.
so
Yeah.
when you sleep in the night, you feel so nice that these guys, maybe they still remember us.
Absolutely. Because I'll tell you, this podcast show also is particularly only for seafarers and maritime professionals, because we are the ones who don't get. I don't want to call it recognized, but we're never shown as such that what
Yeah.
do we do, and like you and I always say this also.
We got a chance to do
Yeah,
this.
and you got a
too.
chance,
Yeah.
and I'm very happy that this could happen, because like I was saying, 90% of the world's cargo is being transported.
Yes,
like this.
we've got 18 captains in our family.
Wow.
No, they are like 30 years in sailing, never happened.
Hmm.
So you're like, how you are such a young guy and how this thing is happening. I said, this is all God's grace. How
Absolutely.
you are not the one to choose and help.
Yep. Yep.
It is just happening and you're just doing your deed.
And 6 rescues.
Yes.
Sixth.
Sixth rescue, and I got recognized, and I was like, why?
Yeah. You must be like, this is just usual routine for
doing
me now.
your
Doing your
at
duty.
sea. Yes.
Right, sir. I want to get back to that later, sir. But first, I want to get into salvage, because now, as I know, you're into salvage operations.
Yes.
So for a layman watching this, what is salvage operations?
Salvage is when a vessel sinks or a vessel is in distress or grounded, it cannot come back, cannot be revived. So the company takes a decision, the insurance takes a decision that it's a loss at sea and it will create more environmental hazards. So let us salvage it.
Okay. So how many salvage operations have you conducted till date, sir?
I have done 6 of them. Started first phase of COVID.
Okay.
And one of my friend, I was just helping him, and he said, "Okay, you can. This is a local number of a captain of this vessel. The vessel was MV Mangalam,
Okay.
Pragati Marine vessel.
Right.
Owners were Pragati Marine
Okay.
in Belapur.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, "Sir, aisa hai, so give your expertise." So I was speaking to the captain. I told him, "So what is happening? What happened? And your engine conked off. And now are you moving?" So he said, "No, we are not moving. We just drifted back, and I think we've beached."
So
I-
what is beach, sir?
Beaches,
Yeah.
there's sometimes what happened on this ship, there was a lump.
Okay.
So maybe your anchor or a chain is there down below, or a
Okay.
stone is there, and sand keeps accumulating on that.
Okay.
And the vessel, constrained by raft or
Right.
because it's loaded,
Yes.
it will touch that part and never move.
So it'll
it
stop.
is like a pillow. It's
Oh.
sleeping now
Oh,
on
okay.
that.
Okay.
So it's beached.
Okay.
Beaching in Alang is a different thing.
Okay. Okay. We'll
But
get there, sir.
yes, yes, yes,
But
yes.
for now, like beaching is basically a soft bed on which your hull of the
Grounding.
ship is
Yeah.
resting.
Like grounding. You
Like
can say.
grounding, you can say
Yes,
grounding.
yes.
Okay.
So in this part, this vessel got grounded
Okay.
because its engine conked off. The engine took water in gush from the skyscraper
Okay.
and funnel, and it didn't start, and they had to
Abandon it.
abandon it. And vessel was Coast Guard had come, Indian Navy Coast Guard.
Okay.
They got their speedboats, but they could not come because the aluminium speedboats and fast rescue vessels. So they could not come very close to the vessel because it was at the open mouth of Alibag.
Okay.
So they were getting thrown away.
The
So-
currents, because of the
Yeah,
currents.
because of the heavy currents. So then they said that it's lockdown and we'll plan to get a chopper, which will be faster. So if you see the video, all the 16 crew were airlifted
Okay.
by Indian Navy.
And the vessel was abandoned.
Indian Navy Coast Guard. Yes, the vessel was abandoned. It sunk fully till the bridge.
Okay. So that means there is no chance of even rescuing it back in terms of at that moment by the crew, ship's crew.
No.
So who takes the abandoned ship decision?
It is earlier. It was like ship goes down with the captain,
Yeah.
but now it is not that.
It's not that, yeah.
Master makes the call that he tells the company that there is no movement of the vessel. We are not able to move the propellers forward, aft, anything.
Right.
No movement.
Okay.
Aage piche,
Yeah,
for layman language.
Absolutely. Okay.
So he's like, what next we should do? So abandon the ship.
Okay. So in this case, it was now, it went down to that it has to be salvaged, right?
Yes.
So why do we salvage it? Is it because it is obstructing a place, or is it because it's becoming a hazard for the environment, or both?
Both.
Both.
Because there's always fuel on board, which is a big disaster if it comes out.
Right.
Luckily, there was no oil spill here, and these coast guards were tweeted by Modi ji
Okay.
on Coast Guard Divas,
Okay.
and he really mentioned and thanked the Coast Guard that there was no oil spillage, and every hour a Coast Guard naval vessel used to take a round at the sea bed from the chopper to check whether there is no leakage
Oh, okay.
from the vessel, and then we came into picture.
Okay. So how does a salvage operation executed? Like, what are the pre things which are discussed, on scene discussion, and post? It's a very technical thing, I know,
Yes.
but I'm always enamored by like the fact that the Titanic could not be salvaged. It's because of a reason, but in this case, this particular vessel was possibly in a area where it could be salvaged.
Yes.
So what is the pre-discussions, on-scene discussions, and post?
We go through the GA plan.
Okay, GA is
and
the general,
stability book.
right?
So we come to know what is the stability of the vessel.
Okay.
So what in this the methodology was, we had taken out. You will not believe, I was the only guy
Okay.
going with two GoPros, one on my helmet, one on my chest, and I didn't allow any of my divers to go
Okay.
on board, because you never know, because they don't know, they're divers.
They don't know
They
the
are not
vessel's
sailors.
specifics.
They don't understand the GA, so we have to explain them that this hold is there, this is void, and this can take water, this cannot take water. This is 100% cement.
Absolutely.
Sometimes a tank is cemented, so there's no ballast, deballast on that tank, port and starboard both.
Right.
So we have you cannot explain everything to the divers. So I said, let me go. So there's algae on the ship, there's sea growth on the ship, so you have to jump from on the high tide. So the tug goes closer to the vessel, you have to jump from the tugboat to the railing.
Oh.
And there is all spirogyra and all sea algae and
It's all
marine
slippery,
growth.
mush, and
Yes. So luckily I jumped. I had to go 7 days. I did that.
Okay.
I got mostly 3 crew members luggage from the ship, because their documents are very important.
right.
I know, because I had lost my documents, so I know these documents are very important, and
I can
it will
imagine,
be
sir. Yeah.
so I got all the luggages for these 3 crew members.
Okay. And you were also doing the surveillance of from where things can be attached or detached, right?
Yes. We were planning from the Monkey Island. There was a pipe.
Okay.
So if we could deballast the oil which is there.
Okay.
So I went in the engine room. I went there, just looking at. There's no gas. First 2 days I could not go because there was too much of gas. So it is very dangerous if you enter a void space, knowing that it could, like a paint store also.
Absolutely.
You have to ventilate and then go inside. So I didn't allow anybody for 7 days. I was inspecting the whole vessel. Thought that there is no movement now on the vessel and it is safe. So we had lime wash. We got lime from the shore.
Okay.
And we had put lime on that spirogyra and algae.
Okay.
sea growths, just to clean it.
Clean it.
And then took wire brush myself and I cleaned the whole thing so other people can come on board.
So the next step of the process is that the divers come in and do their job.
Yes. So in this, what we did is, it was loaded with iron ore and JSW charters. So JSW cargo.
Okay.
So the whole vessel sank with that. We got the whole vessel with the cargo.
Oh, you could salvage the entire ship
vessel
with the cargo intact.
Yes. So the methodology used was here.
Yes.
Was we got one manhole out, bolt nut taken out,
Right.
and fabricated at the shore. So there was one hose pipe which will deballast the water and muck. demucking, we
Okay.
call it.
Okay.
And there is one air hose which is connected, so it will push the air.
So vacuum is
water comes out
yeah.
and all the muck comes out
right.
and vacuumize
Absolutely,
that thing.
absolutely.
So we have to run all 9 manholes.
Right.
We have to fabricate them. Now start all the pump together and deballast it and lift it up.
So I personally want to ask this question. Deballasting is not an easy operation, especially when you are in
Normal
this
ship.
on a normal ship,
Right.
because pumps are required. A lot of time is required.
Yes.
How big was this ship which you were salvaging, and how did you manage the stability of the vessel while deballasting? Because it can perhaps list more,
Correct.
trim more. So
So
Yeah.
what we did is port and starboard together.
Okay.
So one port and 2 starboard.
okay,
Then 1 starboard and 2 port. So that is like how we
Huh.
tie nuts. We don't
Absolutely.
tie, we go opposite.
yeah, opposites.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's no leakage
right.
from the packing.
Right. So in this case, was the hull breached of the ship, or it was still intact?
No. There was because the anchor had touched the bottom
Okay.
and anchor had a hole on the forecastle.
Oh.
So we had to patch up that also. But forecastle we could take out because
Right.
mainly we needed the vessel to take its own buoyancy
Right.
and come up
Right.
with the
That's-
cargo.
Absolutely.
So what we did is first we went with the manholes
right. Right.
and all the tanks and we uplifted the vessel.
Oh, fantastic. It sounds very easy right now, but to
Yes.
patch a open hole inside a hull
Yes,
with the
yes,
steel plate this thick, how does all of this come? Like, who all are involved? What is the whole process?
So when I was a cadet,
Yeah.
there was a hole in our hatch. So
Okay.
So what we did is we did bandaging. So that is how I learned. Maybe
Oh.
bandaging is what there's a net and there's a tarpaulin inside and then a net. So you put it from the hull, take it like a necklace, and come near the exactly where this hole is there,
Right.
and you tighten with the wire ropes.
Okay. So that knowledge, that was perhaps 10, 15 years back.
1998,
98, and this was
Yes.
this when this COVID,
2018.
almost 22 years
22 years.
before.
So like learning never goes wasted.
Absolutely, and this is what I also learned from you. Perhaps that whatever I have also learned, and perhaps the cadets and aspirants will, is someday. I hope it never comes in use like
Yes.
this, like
Yeah,
in
very
terms of
true.
bandaging a damaged hull. But
Yeah.
yes, it works.
Very true. Very true.
Absolutely,
So you should always keep learning.
absolutely.
You know, when we used to mob as a cadet, we
The
used to
mobbing.
think mobbing.
Ah,
Yeah. So we
right.
started with the office.
Yes.
We're like, if you have a punishment, you have to mob ladies' bathroom also. That was the worst punishment we thought. That
Acha,
time.
okay, right.
So as a cadet,
Right.
so we used to put our tie behind and
Yeah.
mob the whole office. So we're like, Arey, what are we doing? We've studied so much, and then we are cleaning a toilet here and cleaning an office.
Absolutely.
But and that time there were no Xerox machines, so we had to go 3 floors down to get a single copy. So from 3 floors, you're taking a stairs. You're not allowed to take a lift. Cadets are not allowed to take a lift in the office.
Right.
So we used to go run down, get a copy. So, but when we go on board and then there are Xerox machine in front of us,
Right.
so we know there's carbon there because we are seeing a local guy cleaning carbon. We're like, Arey, the print is not coming properly. We have to clean the carbon.
With
on
carbon of that. And
yeah, otherwise that line will come on the print.
Only
So we
because-
learned all this and used on board when we used to take
Yeah, yeah,
photocopies
absolutely.
told by our
Court
seniors.
papers or something.
Yes.
Right, sir. Coming back, sir, I had a question. This salvage could be done because the deballasting worked and the ship was buoyant again.
Yes.
But sometimes that not might be the case when suppose the ship is 100 meters below water.
Yes.
What happens to these kind of ships? Are they retrievable or they're declared as total loss?
Sometimes what we do is if it is we have buoyancy bags for deep vessels, we can put buoyancy bags because it can float.
Oh, this is new.
Yes. So
Okay.
buoyancy bags can be attached, and here the vessel is not in too much depth.
Right.
10 meters, 20 meters. So the buoyancy bag will not make a difference.
Absolutely.
Because it will go at a length of 1 meter length, 2 meters length, and then the buoyancy will pick up.
Right.
So it cannot be used. It can be used in the deep sea.
So like a buoyancy bag, a diver goes down, or are there big cranes which put this buoyancy bag down?
Buoyancy bag, once we put the bags,
Yeah.
we shackle it. We get an eye welded by the
Okay.
divers, and then we shackle it from the front and the back, and then the buoyancy bag. Then we fill the buoyancy bag.
Oh.
So it is not pre-filled.
Not pre-filled because it will
yes,
not go down.
Correct.
Because it already has buoyancy in it.
Yes.
Ah,
Yes.
okay. Just a very lame question. I'd not say lame, but what is the cost of these salvage operations?
Oh, it can go from some dollars to $1 million. Like the Mauritius vessel, which created
Yes.
in lockdown,
Yes.
biggest disaster in
Got
Mauritius.
Beached and got grounded and
Yes,
opened the
yes,
Salvage
yes, yes.
oil
And
tanker, right?
Oil tanker. And it was a disaster.
Right, sir.
So that big vessel, it's already broken into two. So it can be cut and got into pieces. But before that, everybody is bothered about the environment.
Yes.
That it should not harm the
Environment.
local environment.
Like the Exxon Valdez, which happened in 90s.
Yes.
And what a big disaster that was.
Very, very massive one.
And I think people don't realize also like a small ship also, suppose 50 meters, has a lot of oil, lubes, which can surface out and destroy the entire coastline perhaps of Mumbai.
Very true. Very
Right, sir? Have you seen such a thing happening in your life?
No.
No?
I've
No
not
pollution.
seen. No.
That's good. Yeah. Thank God something is left.
We keep an eye when we are sailing.
Yeah.
That they don't pump out.
Absolutely.
Muck, water.
Right.
Deballast their engines.
Yeah. And I think even the IMO regulations and all the big regulations which are there for ships are very stringent. In fact, extremely stringent about pollution prevention and control, like MARPOL and all.
Very true.
So there are a lot of regulations which are always already in place.
Earlier it was not there. People used to throw their bottles from the ship. So when I went on board, I stopped. Why are you throwing? We are doing a demolition voyage, delivery voyage. Keep it in one cabin. Use the bottles, plastic bottles, garbage bottles. Keep it in one room. One room is empty. Just throw there.
Yeah.
Don't throw it at the sea.
So one more question. What is the role of insurance? Like who pays for all this cost which is incurred? Is it the ship owner, the insurance? What is this procedure?
So insurance is always there, always critical for every ship. But if you're like this Mangalam, one day, like 24 hours before the insurance expired.
Oh.
So you can call it a bad luck for the owners that they had to pay everything from their own pocket. So if you don't have an insurance, you pay from your own pocket. The owner have to take a call and and anything happens like a big disaster, it is like you can
any probable or tentative costs which were there, so just for context of how expensive these things are.
It can cost from 30 lakhs to 50 lakhs to 60 lakhs depending on the vessel and what it has gone through.
Okay. And in fact, if the cargo also submerges, then is it insurance which pays for it, or
Yes, it is all insured.
it's all insured?
Yeah. My vessel once, we had hit the tsunami. So all my containers were there. I was a chief mate that time.
By the tsunami?
By the tsunami, and the containers fell. 30 containers. But the owners were more bothered. The insurance was more bothered for the containers which have not sunk, which are floating, like the wood and the ply, and it got ruptured.
Right.
So those, because they are floating now, they can damage another ship. So they are more bothered about those containers which are floating. The one which is gone, we've got Alfa Romeo cars which went down. We've got BMW bikes, sports bikes, container went down.
Oof.
So they all were insured. But the vessel and the container which is not insured is getting...
So that's like a big problem, because if it hits a ship and
it
cause
can
a breach
damage,
and something, then this ship owner's container which was on the
can
can sue the entire company for
company.
This is a very big game. In fact, a very funny thing. I saw a reel in which there was a container floating, and I think some fishermen opened and they were iPhone.
Yeah.
So that happens?
That happens.
That happens?
Yes.
Oh, in fact, we were only discussing before the podcast about this particular incident.
We had one mafia which had entered my container vessel in Malaysia.
Okay.
And these 4-5 guys, I said, they don't look, because we were having Indonesian, Malaysian, Filipino crew. So when Malaysian Filipino crew jumped on board, and they look the same. So I was like, why this is not looking like our crew.
Yeah,
And if
yeah,
you're new,
yeah.
you don't know who's he.
Absolutely.
So he was running, and they had those rivet openers.
So they
So
could.
they opened the container doors, and they are doing shopping from inside. And we
Oh.
caught them red-handed, and they all jumped.
Oh, so it is still possible. When did this happen, sir?
This is 2017.
So still, like, it's just recent
yes,
that.
they are so fast, so pro.
Oh.
So in Somalia we entered. So they what they do is they have a mooring rope
Hmm.
lying on the bed.
Okay.
And when you are propelling
Right.
full ahead, and there are two boats, wooden boat, and only one guy is there on that boat, and it can only take. It's all handmade boats what they have
Right.
from a log.
Right.
So they are sitting on there, and as soon as you move ahead, the rope gets pushed, and the boat they get alongside both the
Oh,
side.
and you can't
they
even
put-
see it
No, because
because it's from the aft.
yes,
on a
yes,
container
such a
ship.
big vessel, you don't have that. And then they put hooks and climb on board.
This also makes me question like the Somalian pirates, how they also approach in a similar fashion with the
Yes.
rope and the hook,
Hook,
and they put it out there. Then they put the gangway, their own ladder.
own ladder, yes.
So
yes,
this is
yes.
not just
very
limit-
fast, very
Very,
quick.
very quick. It's not just limited to piracy, but also armed robbers or basic
Yeah,
robbers.
Yeah. There are always stowaway. If you
Stowaways,
know, yeah, you
yep.
have to have a drill. You have to have a check before leaving countries like
Absolutely.
Somalian countries,
Yeah.
African countries. Because if they come to know that the vessel is going to Germany, America, Canada,
They would definitely.
they would definitely come. We found one in the anchor chain.
On your ship, you found a stowaway?
Yes, and we have to treat him like
A guest?
Yeah, like a guest.
But that's the international rule,
International rule, you cannot harm them.
right, sir? What was that, sir? How was that entire voyage when you had to carry this stowaway from the port of discovery
Yes,
till the
yes.
port of
So
deportation?
what happened? Brazil, the weather is so rough. You have to have mooring wires also.
Mooring wires.
Mooring wires
What
tied to the shore.
like a steel wires.
Steel wire, yes, 32 wire. So with your mooring rope, there's always a wire running from forward and
Oh,
aft.
it's an additional thing
Additional
apart from the
thing,
Manila or
yes.
the normal
Yes,
conventional
yes,
mooring
yes,
ropes.
yes. Nylon rope.
Nylon ropes, sorry,
Yes.
yeah. Oh, okay.
So because the weather is so
weather
tough,
is
it can break the mooring.
right.
So for emergency, they always have a wire rope
Okay.
tied to the vessel, forward and aft.
Okay.
And we were checking all the stowage, and we got this guy in the chain locker, and he was hanging. And imagine if you put your anchor and your anchor chain is coming back, they're not scared of
To like
yeah, the chain will
it'll crash
crush
immediately.
him. Yeah, yes.
Oh, so when you found him, what was the first procedure or the first step you did?
Yeah, we called him up. We're like, come, amigo, you've been caught. Like, come, welcome on board.
Okay.
And then he used to do chipping painting with us. He used to eat, drink with us in the mess room.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Wow, how you can leave him?
So you
And there is one, in the night time, he used to be on the bridge, sitting there, sleeping there, because you have to have a watch what he's doing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because someone has to
Someone
look
has
if he
to-
does not jump.
Yes.
Right.
Yes, correct.
So suppose if he dies on board, so what happens then?
Dies.
Suppose he commits suicide.
Oh, it's a bad case. Then, they'll check what happened and where he got from, why he did that, his background, our background, what happened. Did we tell the company this has happened, that we are carrying a stowaway with us?
Right. So luckily in your case, that stowaway was immediately deported because he was found there.
3 days, yeah.
Oh, it took 3
The
days.
closest port, and then
Okay.
Navy came and picked him up.
Oh, so you were.
So 3 days, he was 24 hours in
Right.
vigilance.
Oh, I mean, that's not the best place to be in, but it happens. It still happens.
It happens. Yeah, I have seen, I think 3 years back, there are 2-3 guys who have tied themselves with the bed sheet from the rudder.
From the
And
rudder.
Yes.
You mean the rudder trunk or
rudder. They're
the
sitting on the
stock?
rudder.
Oh,
And they've survived.
and they've survived.
And they've survived.
I think just for context, people don't understand.
The rudder.
When the propeller makes its way and how
Yes.
the water
So
flows.
the rudder is which if you put the wheel on port,
Right.
the rudder moves to starboard.
Absolutely.
And then your vessel turns.
Yeah.
So that is the rudder. And the rudder, they are sitting on that and they have survived. There's a live video and photos online.
My God. So coming back to the point you mentioned, that was about beaching, right? Or not beaching. It was about delivering the ship for demolition.
Yes.
Let's get into that because I have seen just a few videos of, I think in the Gujarat port only where the big ships come.
Alang.
Alang, right?
Biggest scrapyard.
Biggest-
Biggest graveyard in the
Biggest
world. they say.
graveyard for ships.
It's in Guinness Book of World Record.
So they come, they beach, and then what happens to them? I mean, it becomes a skeleton.
Yes.
So you were perhaps one of you were there when you were taking the ship from its last voyage to the scrapyard.
Yes. I've done 24 vessels, beached myself.
24 vessels, you put
24
them to
vessels.
grave.
Grave, yes. So I was in a company where we were making ships.
Okay.
And after that, we were now breaking ships. So somebody was telling me, well, you know, the two parts of, I think, Shiva, they are saying.
Yes, Ardhanareshwar.
Breaker and then maker.
Or you could say, destroyer and creator. And sustainer also.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So what is that last voyage of a ship which is about to reach its grave?
Oh, sometimes it's a beautiful vessel. You feel very bad that such a vessel is not, used by somebody. Means for more 20-30 years it can run. Like a Korean vessel I did, Asahi Maru it was. The Asahi beer which is there. So they were the owners.
Okay.
Very beautiful vessel. You could put rice and dal on the deck and eat. No chipping required. It was
That
so
clean
beautiful. So beautiful.
The metal is also still alive.
Yes. Everything. I'll show you the photos.
Yeah, sir.
Beautiful
Please,
vessel.
we'll put it on the screen also for reference.
Yes. Very beautiful vessel.
Okay,
So you feel very bad that these vessels are not, used, and it takes so much time and money to make a vessel, and then you're just going to beach the vessel.
how much time, or perhaps I would reframe the question: why is a ship put into that scrapyard, or when is it done?
Sometimes if it is not feasible, not giving too much business to the company, and the consumption is very high of the engine, so that's the company takes a call. And because after 20-30 years, mostly they don't want a vessel in their fleet because it can hamper their cargo and the charters.
And it's not profitable also. Okay.
So that's how they scrap the vessel.
Okay. So that vessel is taken on the last voyage, and you've done 24 of them. So what is that moment when you're perhaps going to beach the ship? What is happening on the navigation bridge?
So what happens is I've done in Gadani, Pakistan.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah. So everybody was scared, like, oh, you're going to Pakistan.
Please, let's go there, sir. What was that experience?
Oh, such a beautiful place. And the owner was the owner of the vessel. Again, the same vessel, ITB, Integrated Tug and Barge. So we delivered that to Gadani.
Okay.
So the owner was so nice, Pakistani buyer, because there is always a fluctuation of dollars.
Right.
So if we count scrap vessels as LDT, light displacement tonnage.
Okay.
So light displacement tonnage of the vessel, you will find it on trim and stability booklet. So you calculate that and get the scrap value of the vessel. So if it is, for example, $40, 40 rupees
per ton,
per kilo, then calculate it into
tonnage. Okay.
So that's how they buy the vessel.
Okay. So you delivered a new vessel, or you were taking the vessel on its last voyage to Pakistan.
To Pakistan, to Bangladesh, to Alang, Gujarat.
So how were you welcomed in Pakistan as an Indian? Because it's a very common question.
Yes.
Even I get that if you're going to Pakistan, what will happen on the ship?
Very true. So once we were there, we beached. So Pakistan takes 2 days of beaching.
Okay.
Alang takes 1 day. 1 day full ahead, you beach the vessel on the set. So there's a flag by the pilot. So I'll start with Alang.
Yes.
Alang, you go to Bhavnagar. You anchor there. Once you're there, pollution comes first on board. They'll check everything.
Right.
Then custom comes on board. They check all your navigational equipments. They'll write with all the MMSI numbers, how many life rafts you have,
Right.
and all the VHF, because they break everything.
Right.
Once you're on shore,
Okay.
they'll break in front of the captain.
Oh, the
They'll hammer.
Ah.
They'll put it on the stone. They'll hammer in front of you, because after Kasab had come,
Right.
so they
Oh, yes.
become strict in Indian waters.
Okay.
You cannot use a satellite phone now in India unless the vessel is in big distress.
Okay, so it's not allowed to use a
not
sat
allowed.
phone in Indian coast.
Not allowed.
Ah, okay.
So iSat phones, we take out the SIM card once we are on single voyage. We take out the SIM card and keep it in our locker, so that nobody gets his hands on it and
Right.
makes an SMS or calls his family.
Security threat. basically.
Security threat.
And even the lifeboat, so they cannot sail the lifeboat away from that ship post the scrapyard procedure, right?
Yes. So we have to send them. It's like pre port risk. There's an 4-page checklist. You have to send that to your agent in Alang,
Okay.
and then he will pass the vessel, and then the custom will check once they are on board that whatever they had said is correct with their numbers.
So it's like a double check, double
Double
protocol procedure
Yes.
for security.
Yes. And then once that is done, it's
Yeah.
clear for beaching.
Okay.
And once the high tide is the maximum in Alang, we move from Bhavnagar to Alang. Then we go on a position, and then the pilot.
Pilot has to be there for
no,
the
no, pilot doesn't come on board. Pilot is there on the shore.
Oh.
And there is only one pilot, and he's a dear friend of mine now.
Okay.
Purabjit Singh, his name is.
Okay.
And he's the only pilot in
Okay.
Alang as of
Okay.
now.
So he puts a
Yeah,
marker?
so he'll call you. He'll say, sir, we'll shift to so-and-so channel, like channel 69, channel 71,
Right.
whichever is good, which you can hear.
Yep.
And then, don't bother about any other channels now. And if you have another VHF, put it on 16 for your safety reasons.
Right.
So once we are there on the channel, then we go ahead. He'll like, sir, give us full ahead, half ahead. So we grow that way. And he'll like tell your engines to give maximum. So we have a deadline. We have a red line
Yes.
that we can go on so much RPM.
Absolutely.
So if it is 1200 RPM,
Yes.
so we are giving 15, 14. So that's
Maximum.
maximum. So that time, all your engine staff has to be told that clear from the engines.
It might explode.
Yes.
Oh.
Because it is running so fast. And once it is beached, you come to know, because there's so much of vibration on the ship, and it is there's a slope.
Yep.
So that's why Alang is the biggest scrapyard. So it's like a beach slope,
Okay.
and then you beach slowly and then go straight. Sometimes we've beached between two vessels, two VLCCs.
Two VLCCs, just for context, VLCC is like the biggest, or like one of the biggest
football
oil.
stadium.
Yeah,
I did 448 meters.
448-meter ship.
448 meters. My chief officer used to say, "Sir, सांस तो लेने देना anchor के और चाय के time." Like,
So
let
you
me catch
beached-
my breath.
Sir, I have to come back to this one. 448-meter ship.
Ship
You took it
beached, yeah.
and beached
And
it.
that was the biggest ship in 20 years in Alang.
So, I can literally fathom the measurement of it, but I think people don't realize what is 448-meter ship
Massive.
and the depths it has.
Yes. Restrictive maneuverability.
Restrictive maneuver. So that ship full ahead,
Yes.
straight into the coast.
Post. Yes.
What happens on the navigation bridge once it hits the first slope or the first sandbank?
Then we tell the pilot. The pilot tells us that let the engine run for at least 10 minutes. So you're still picking up. You're still coming ahead, but you will not feel it because the propeller is running. It is slowly going down. So it's like you feel that the engine, the propeller is
Dying
cooling
down?
now. Yeah, dying. And then you're like, okay, sir, stop engines. And as soon as he says there's a port anchor, he'll say mostly port anchor.
Okay.
You're like half the way down, and then put your port anchor.
Pull it
And
down.
then slowly after 10-15 minutes, he'll tell the starboard anchor. And then what they do is they cut the anchor from the shackle and they pull the chain.
Oh.
They put it on the drum,
Retrieve it.
pulley. Then they slowly pull and keep cutting the vessel. They keep cutting the vessel. So it is always a hole made at the bulbous bow. So easy for them to come out.
Oh, so it's like first the anchors are deployed,
Yes.
then they are retrieved,
Retrieved.
then the bulbous bow is cut,
Yes.
then they go inside,
Correct.
cut it out from the forward.
Yes. and then we wait for the low tide to come,
Okay.
and then all our crew. So we have to have combination ladder because
It's very,
massive.
very high. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
VLCC,
yeah.
we had 2 combination ladders
Oh, yeah.
and a pilot ladder.
Oof. So at that time, the crew is still staying on the ship?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah?
So sometimes you have to stay for 8 hours without your
Anything.
cooking. So what we do is we do pre-cooking
Hmm.
and keep in emergency because it will be a long night.
Right.
Sometimes if it is in the evening, it will be a long day.
Have you faced any instant during this process where you thought ki, no, this operation is not going right, or there is some hazard which is happening? Like suppose the ship lists too much because of the
Yeah,
beaching.
once this happened, this VLCC I'm talking about,
Yes,
we had
yes.
one anchor
Ah,
and one anchor broke when the custom boarded the vessel.
it broke.
Now this 448 meters vessel, I am running for 48 hours without sleeping. I was there on the bridge because now you have no brakes.
Right.
And there is this tugboat from a Brazilian and he's got a rig towing. And he's got all those wire lashings running between
Oh.
such a congested water. So we took a special permission from the pilot. I called the owners, as I told everybody
Yeah.
that this anchor is broke.
Ah.
So after my anchor was broke, there was a rule which is now applied in Alang that you cannot have a demolition voyage with one anchor.
You need
You
to.
have to have two. So this happened first time with my vessel.
So after that, they made a mandatory regulation
Rule.
that rule that you
Yes,
have to
yes,
have
yes.
2 anchors operating.
Whether it is
working.
for demolition voyage, single voyage, whatever the reason be.
Okay, so that happened. 448 meter ship, and there's an oil rig also close by.
Oil rig, you have to communicate. He's not understanding, not communicating. The pilot is telling me, VTS is telling me he's not listening to us because maybe he's not understanding.
Yeah, maybe the language.
Yeah, language error. Maybe VHF because the tug is low.
Yeah.
So their VHF is not catching the local
My God.
VTS.
Oh, so I want to now take you back again to the rescue missions because having 6 rescue missions in your life in one lifetime,
Yes.
it's already too much. In fact, one is also a lot. Which was the toughest rescue mission you've ever conducted? Was it the one where you awarded the IMRF Hero Award, or was it something else?
Yeah, that was the toughest because open sea. One I did was an AB who fell from the pilot ladder. He
Who,
was
sir?
An AB.
An AB.
AB who fell.
Okay.
We caught him. I threw. Luckily, he had that life buoy with the lifeline. We threw that. We got him up immediately. Current was not that much. He survived. One bosun, he was taking a rope from a tug. Our engine had conked off, and he was passing. Luckily, he was wearing a jacket because I was a chief mate that time. So I told him, whenever you're working and bending from the forecastle,
Right.
wear a life jacket,
Yeah.
wear a helmet,
Yeah.
because I have taken a fall from the 9 floors down.
Oh,
So
yes, sir.
because of my helmet, I got
Right.
survived. It broke into 32 pieces when the survey was done.
Oh, the helmet
The
when you
helmet.
fell down on your cadet ship.
Yes.
32 pieces.
32 pieces. Yellow helmet. I still remember. And my new Bata shoes was there.
Yeah.
The whole sole came out.
Oh.
And my whole steel toe came out. And I broke the 2 bones of my heel, ankle, and my shoulders. So that's why I
yeah.
make sure
Yeah.
that all my crew
Yeah.
is always with the
Absolutely.
safety gear.
Oh, so this guy
This guy
fell
fell
off
from the bow.
from the bow.
Bow of the vessel. He went inside.
He went
and
inside.
Inside the vessel, came out from the hatch number 1.
My God.
And we all were looking. Luckily, we were on the port side,
Yeah.
getting the tow ready.
Yeah.
And I jumped and I looked and he was like blanked. Means he was like dead. He's saying, I'm dead.
Shocked.
What he told us later, that, sir, I went to heaven and as soon as you slapped me when he came on board,
Yeah.
I like, his name was Satish. So I slapped him. I like, Satish, what happened? So he's like, oh, sir, I was like blacked out. Because when I went inside, I could not breathe the
Right.
hatch.
And he's gone inside. I mean,
Yeah,
what
the
do you even
bottom
say?
of the
bottom
vessel.
of the vessel.
Yeah, and he came out luckily came out from the right angle.
Right.
Otherwise, if he goes to the propeller, our propellers were running.
My God.
And the current was so high, we caught him at the 5th
Hatch.
hatch.
How did you did you send
Again,
again live boy?
Yeah. And we had 2. the second one didn't open because you remember those buoys we keep as a third mate.
Yes.
So you
Coiling.
have those coil and
the coil was
not open, and the other one was open, but it was a heaving line. So immediately I tied a heaving line and threw.
So that one was without rope, so you tied a heaving line.
Tied a heaving line because the heaving line we always keep it open
for the operation.
anchor station.
Anchors, yes. Oh man.
So we caught him and he's like, sir. So after this happened, so he's like, sir, I was your second rescue. Remember? I said, oh yeah.
You met him?
Yeah. No, he called.
Oh, he called.
He said, sir, I was. Oh, said, oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, you were my second rescue. But never mentioned. Anybody.
But like when you took him out, I'm sure as a chief mate you must be very scared in terms because your man has now gone, and there's a lot of things which will start being investigated.
Yes, very true, very true.
And how did you revive him? Was he conscious or?
Yeah, he was conscious but blacked out.
But it was shock zone.
Shock, total shock. It took us 5-10 minutes to get him back on the vessel and get him to stabilize.
The orientation and all.
Yeah. So he still remembers. He's like, sir, because of you, I'm married. I have son. I have children.
It's like you said, God sent.
Yes. And then the third one
yeah.
was a couple given honeymoon packages in Kota Kinabalu, Malaysia.
Okay.
So they give those honeymoon packages, fishing package. And,
okay. Like a tourism thing.
So there was this nice hotel. They had checked in. They got a package, but there were two more couples which were not coming. Maybe didn't get up for the fishing experience. Yeah. So this couple was there with two fishermen. They went out with no VHF.
Oh, so no
walkie-talkie, no communication, and their engine conked off and they drifted. They drifted like 30 nautical miles away.
30 nautical miles.
Yeah, and this is again 4 days, 3-4 days she was there. Couple, newly married couple.
Oh, so it was not just a one-day thing.
No, 4 days. And imagine that lady, good English because Hong Kong. So when she came on board, she showed us. She's like, sir, there was a tarpaulin, plastic tarpaulin.
Yep.
So tarpaulin, these three guys used to hold, and then she used to do her nature's call and everything. Then whenever she used to go on the corner, because you cannot do it on board.
Yes.
That
so
boat, because of the rolling, she used to fall, and then they used to again pick her up, again try the same thing, again fall. So it was that bad.
Okay, so you spotted them.
Yeah, so she had that makeup mirror. And she was flashing from the starboard side, and I was like, my bosun called. My duty was 4 to 8.
Okay, you were chief
officer.
Okay.
So I went down 8:30. I got a call. That's a captain is saying that call the chief mate if he's there, and he was making ilaichi wali chai, adrak wali chai. So that's my weakness. So I Indian bosun.
Yeah.
And rest all the crew is Malaysian, Indonesian.
Right.
So he's saying, and 2 cadets Indian. So he like, sir, we made ilaichi wali chai. I said, yes, then I'm coming. I went on board. So they have a habit. So whenever I used to sit on that chair, which is there, that pilot chair, can-made chair.
Yeah.
So they used to talk to me by putting their leg on the bulkhead.
Okay.
So I was complaining. I got down and like, whenever you all keep talking to me, you all face this side.
Yes.
You should always face
look out
and keep talking to me. So, and while they are keeping their shoes there, it's got all those black marks.
Dirty black.
Yeah, so I said, now you all clean this. Arey yaar sir, aapko to chai peene bulaya tha, aapne to homework de diya. So turned ho gaya. So I got up to show them that mark is there, and there was this lady who was flashing this makeup mirror.
Oof.
So I thought there's a fish which has jumped and it's got sunlight on it. So I said, there's something which happened. So I rushed with these bosun and AB and cadet. Like, these are these guys who are calling us for help. Like, help. Like, then again, we are thinking Malaysian also have mafia.
There's a lot of robbery also.
A lot of robbery happened. So what I saw was a tan. So she was wearing that singlet, that ganji.
A tank top. Tank top kind of thing.
So she was fair.
Yeah. So
and she's got that tan, which has happened. So she's showing us the tan. And she's saying 3 days, no food. That is how I came to know that 3-4 days, 3.5 days, they were there with no food. So whatever you will carry for fishing this thing with.
Yes,
Yeah.
fishing
Yeah,
time.
you'll carry chips. You'll carry Coke, a couple of bottles maximum.
First of all, sir, this makes me realize as a navigator how important it is to have a lookout at all times. That's why
All
the rule number
times.
5 of cold drinks is always
Yeah,
emphasized. Because imagine a lady trying to show a tan. It's a already big
to make you
sign
believe.
to make you believe that she's in help. She needs. She doesn't
Yes.
have a distress signal. No
Nothing.
pyrotechnics.
Very true. No VHF.
No VHF. No.
No walkie-talkie.
My God. I mean,
No network. No mobile.
no network. In fact, it's a big lesson for all of the people watching. Also, when you're going out at sea, you need to have some kind of a signaling equipment or communication equipment,
Yes.
and keep the shore informed.
Always. Yeah. And keep the shore informed.
And keep the shore informed.
Correct. The shore.
I mean-
what happened is they were flying the next day, and their fishing
It's already
package was there today.
uh,
So 3 days they've not been found by the hotel, the resort. So the resort was looking for them. They're like, the luggage is here, the passport is also there, and these guys are not there. Maybe they must be partying or somewhere out.
absolutely.
So then when we called, we went to the network. We got our local network, Malaysian signal. We called from the YouTube. We got
Okay.
these guys' hotel's number. We
Right.
called them.
Okay.
That so-and-so person with so-and-so name
Yeah.
is saying that they were on this boat. Now these two fishermen also, they didn't wanted to leave the boat.
Ah.
And we got this couple up.
Okay.
We gave them,
Right.
we told them to go for a shower and gave them food. The only thing they drank was like 2 liters of juice. They were so dehydrated.
Oh, dehydration and some
Yeah.
sugar also.
Sugar, they wanted that sugar.
My God.
And
mean,
then those two
yeah.
fishermen, we towed them with their boat because
with
they
the-
didn't want to
They
leave
didn't want
their
to
boat.
Of course, I mean,
That
as a captain,
attachment.
sir, you have commanded so many vessels. I'm sure there must be some kind of an attachment to your vessel
Yes.
because you were representing the
yes.
ship owner at that
Very
time.
true. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes you feel so sad
Yeah, like
signing
you were
off.
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like when I joined a vessel, so there was a cadet, so he was lifting his bag,
Ah,
my first ship,
right.
and I, luckily, I had a light bag, Mumbai,
Ah,
not too much winter
That-
clothes.
yeah,
we had
yeah,
light bag.
Light
I
bag.
rushed from the gangway, and as soon as I went, and chief officer was standing,
Hmm.
2 cadets, same. He was senior to me.
Right.
But I climbed the gangway first. So he like, who climbed the gangway first? You, I think.
Yeah.
I said, yeah. What is your name? Like, Siddharth.
Ah.
Like, you're senior. So, it is that. Because, why? I asked him later, not that day, but in a sailing, I asked him that, why, sir? Because he's my senior
Yeah. Why did you?
at shore, but
Yeah.
why did you choose me? He's like, see, because you are the one who stepped on the gangway. You have experienced that feeling of climbing a gangway, the
Yes,
rope,
Yes.
and how to climb it slowly with your luggage.
Absolutely.
So you are more experienced
You already experienced
than him.
in those minutes.
Those minutes experience counts. So every moment on the ship counts.
Fantastic, sir. I mean, yeah, that's what the whole attachment to your vessel.
Vessel, yes,
fact,
yes.
In fact, you are right, sir. Like when I have also signed off from 1 or 2 ships, I always felt like, wow, like I was in command of this bridge on the bridge for 8 hours every day of this ship.
And
This
you think that maybe the other person will be able to do it.
Yeah. Then you're like, oh, the second mate, will he be able to make the next passage or
Yes. And maybe as good as you.
yeah, maybe as good as safe as you.
Yes, yes, yes.
I mean, and we are staying there for 6 to 8 months.
yeah,
It's our home.
very true, very
Everything there. Also, sir, just wanted to ask you what happened when you fell off from that hatch into the hold. Why did it happen?
true. Oh, this happened. I'll start from the morning.
Yep.
It was an early morning after chief officer's duty. I was there as a cadet with him, senior cadet. So 4 to 8. So 6 o'clock mostly chief officer will send you for soundings.
Right.
And then I did my soundings and he like, you can have your breakfast. So at the same moment, this provision boat came.
Okay.
So he called from the top. He's like, dude, you take this rope for the provision and then go for your breakfast. I said, okay. So I took the mooring rope from the provision boat, tied, and there was a hatch open for ventilation. So we were cleaning. We had Toyota coil lashings.
What is that, sir?
Toyota coils, a Toyota car
Or Toyota cars on
steel,
lashed.
all lashing is there. So they are all gradings there,
Right.
wooden gradings, logs pass through it, so that they don't roll on the ship and damage the hull.
Absolutely.
So all the nails are there for lashing and everything. So we're cleaning everything. The cargo was done. We're cleaning. So we were given one patch where the light was there from the hatch
Right.
opening. So first we have to clean that area
Yes.
because we can see. Then later the day as it comes, so you go behind because you don't need that light.
Yeah,
that time.
absolutely.
So we were doing that. So they say na कि अपना काम हमेशा अच्छा करना चाहिए. So I did that. Luckily, that same place I fell, which I had clenched.
Oh.
And that rope which I had tied, I was crying that, oh yeah, my break was there. Now I'll not get my breakfast because provision is come. So everybody has to help for provision.
Yes.
And I was like, no crew was there because 6:30, 7 o'clock the boat has come.
Yes.
The crew comes at 8.
8, right.
So you are doing your overtime.
Absolutely.
Was what we call
Absolutely. Overtime, yeah.
So but God had planned that same boat took me as an ambulance.
Oof.
So the God had all plans ready. So I tied my own ambulance. I went down, cleaned my own thing from 6 to 8, 6 to 7:30. Came up. I fell in that area which I had cleaned. And what happened is we were changing the coil of the crane from the pontoon. So when you pull towards gravity, so it's a 38
very
wire
thick
rope,
Yeah.
crane wire rope.
Right.
So you're pulling it towards gravity. All the strands are broken, so your gloves are there.
Yes.
So it gets entangled.
Oh, yeah.
So you have to again and again take out your gloves to pull it.
Ah, right.
Now this bosun was a minigoe bosun.
Oh,
And very far on the mast.
Right.
So if wind is blowing from that side, you cannot talk to him. If he talks, you can listen.
You can listen, yeah.
So there's a lever on the crane, so it gets locked, right? The lever.
Right.
So unluckily, that lever stopped here. So half the way, so it didn't get locked.
Right.
But he thought it's locked.
It's locked.
And Arya became Abyss, and he's like, cadet, मैं दूसरा crane ready करता हूँ.
Oh,
So he's starting.
already.
He's gone down to start the other crane engine.
Oh, yeah. The
stop
right,
button.
Right.
You're like, by the time ये gravity से आ रहा है, तुम खींचते रहो. And
वो ऊपर जा रहा है.
So the coil which happened because of the rolling, outer anchor Mumbai,
Okay.
2nd October, Gandhi Jayanti. So it took me up. So now I'm already on the 9th floor.
Yeah.
And I'm going more up now. So 9th floor plus 9 floors where the boom is. So I calculated that if I go on that top, I jump. So that is 9th floor plus 9 floors. So it will be a high jump. So let me try to free myself.
Yes.
So now I'm entangled with because it's taking me up. This strand.
So you left.
Now I've left the ground, the pontoon.
You're already in the air.
Yeah, and there's grease on the drum, on the hatch.
Yeah.
And the coil takes a shape automatically around you. So now it is taking me up, and all grease is there on my boiler suit, on my gloves. So I threw that wire, I slipped from that coil, and the whole coil opened up. So if you've seen a pen, it's got that spring. I still, in my nightmares, I hear that zoop, 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 and it opened. And luckily, I passed that through. If I would have,
were inside, you would have got.
I would have been chopped.
And you slipped inside 9
Inside
floors down.
Down, and I was like calculating that how
So what was happening at that time?
Yeah, I got so much of time. I was like, so I got all my gods, whatever gods I've seen in the world. I got a run of a god, of all gods, and my whole family picture coming. And I used to see this Demi Moore ghost movie a lot.
Okay.
So,
he
dies and then he turns back and he sees his own body. And then the BST bus goes through.
Yes.
So that's how he comes to know that you become a soul.
Already,
so video CD we had that time. I used to watch a lot before joining. So I thought now I'm dead. So now I'm falling.
Yeah,
first.
you're falling.
Yeah, now I'm falling. And I'm thinking, oh, my dad says you're a righty. If you ever fall, you should fall on the left side. So I'm calculating all this while I'm falling. So I turned on my left side because I'm a righty. So I turned in the air and my weight was like 38 kilos, very skinny. So I turned and that boiler suit had those openings here.
Yes.
Maybe there was
Some
air,
air.
inside. So I said, God, if you're taking me, take me with no, don't,
Don't
give me pain.
give me pain, right?
Yeah, at least.
So at that
So
time, it was running through you.
everything is running so fast, and I'm like, I fell, and I was like, I was on a mattress. I fell, I got up, and I was looking for my own body for at least 20 minutes.
Oh,
I was like with my leg, whether I can feel, I can
yeah,
see my own self
yeah. You were
died.
with your legs. You were trying to move your
Yeah,
body.
because that trauma, that blackout, and that fall which happened. So I'm calculating everything, and then I'm saying, okay, now you're dead. So let's explore. So I'm exploring and blackout because hatch inside hatch
Yes. It's no.
with already dark, and only that opening has got light. So I said, "Okay, now let's explore," because I thought my body is not seen.
Oh, so you were like,
So
you can now explore more
more.
than
So
this body. What? Yeah.
yes. So I'm going out, and I thought this side is an Australian ladder, this side is an American ladder. So Australian ladder is easy to climb.
Yeah.
So I like vertical ladder चढ़ने से
Yes.
better इस पे चलता.
Australian ladder.
So I now my left is broken,
Yes.
and I'm limping. But I like, why, why there is pain. So after dying, so
You
I 100% I thought I'm dead.
you thought or you were dead?
I thought I was dead. So I'm exploring as a soul. So I like,
Oh.
चलो अब आत्मा बन गए हैं, भगवान ने बुलाया.
But you
तो-
had that awareness that I am still Captain. I'm
No,
still
cadet.
Siddharth. Cadet Siddharth. No.
You what means I'm dead as dead as a
I mean,
cadet.
of course, there are no words, but
Yeah. So I climbed for, you can say, the first bay,
yeah.
and my captain came, and he was a Britisher, white beard like Santa Claus, and white shirt and white shorts. So I saw him, and it was like glowing white. So I like, oh, I've done some good deeds, and now angels have come to pick me up. So I'm still there. That you become a soul. Now you have to travel.
Yeah.
So he saw me, I saw him. I was like, why does this angel look like my captain? So like, maybe that's the rule. Whatever you were
Yeah,
serving for will
Well-
become your guardian angel or something like that. That calculation is going in my mind. And he asked it. He got a garbage bag to get the
Oh,
body.
so it's like he thought it's already a
The bosun
corpse,
who
yeah.
was there on the top, he said,
Khalas
cadet gira.
Ah.
So he called this guy, and chief officer and everybody came and with the garbage bag. And they're like, Sunny boy, who fell? So you're like, oh, you can see me? So now I'm thinking that, wow. So I am a soul.
Right
but-
now, sir, I just want to understand this. Were you out of the body at this time?
No, I was with myself, but I thought that I have died.
Oh,
So I'm walking, really I'm looking for myself and then walking. But as soon as I came to know that he can see me, I fainted. And next they got me on the stretcher, and how I got up again was that provision, the crane lift with the stretcher, and it was tied. So it got tied this side also, and it gave like a current to me. So I got up again. So what I'm telling them is, the bosun, like, भाई तूने एक बार गिरा दिया, दूसरी बार मत गिराना. So because of the rolling,
Yes,
heavy weather, so we are going left, right, and center. So I like tie a rope at least, to hold the stretcher.
yeah.
So because I'm swinging
Yes,
now with the
yes. Because you're being
stretcher.
lifted.
Yeah, I
up.
said, this time if I fall, I'm tied and my hand is broken, I will not be able to swim. So that is how I'm telling them. So my seamanship is still there on the
Oh,
stretcher
yeah.
also. So I like, because of you, I've fallen. Now again, I should not fall. So you just make sure that you
Yeah.
at least tie a rope and I land properly.
Yeah.
And there's some problem here. So I didn't know it's
You
broken.
didn't know it's broken.
No.
This has become too intense
bones,
for me right now.
Two
Yes.
bones broke here, two
Yeah.
bones there. Again, 2nd October, Bridge Candy, emergency case, no doctors available. There were doctors told from my cousins, family members who came there, and then they took a decision. They had to cut my boiler suit to check the whole body. Then they took a decision that don't put a rod. If the rod was put, my career would have finished. So then all mariners, as I said, my whole family is
Whole
into
family, yes.
merchant navy. So they took a decision that whatever time it takes to heal, let it heal. We'll give him whatever, paya soup, vitamins and this
Yeah.
that, whatever, but don't get a rod done. So it took me 3 months physiotherapy, 3 months bed rest. After 6 months, I got back. So all my cadets had moved and they were completing
were-
their sea time faster than me. So I was like, then again to join a vessel, you have to wait 3 months
Absolutely.
because you're again lined up with the old cadets
Old
who are
cadets.
already working on the office. So that is why I did 21 months at a stretch
Yeah, yeah.
as a cadet to cover that part.
But I'm just still in the zone where you had like perhaps what they call the near death experience, or you call it that.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
And I can feel before that, I was very easy. You're 19 years old.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there
Uh,
is no
Yeah, nothing
extra
there.
inputs. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So I was like very this thing. Dad is this. We have family background.
Yeah.
Good settled family.
Correct.
Why I'm doing this? Why
Correct.
I'm working here.
Yep.
So all this was there. But then I realized that life is very short. It can end any time. So you have to make good, and you have to learn everything. You have to help people whatever way you can. So maybe that is how the goddess
That is
chosen,
how perhaps you had a mission
given
remaining
me a chance.
of saving more lives.
Yes, yes, yes.
But I think on that note,
I was in Miracles Do Happen
yeah.
magazine,
I mean, yeah,
which had covered me that time, and I was on the cover page, and they said so because that Chitralekha magazine was there that time, Hindi magazine. So his daughter fell from the first floor on a LML Vespa seat, and
Okay.
brain hemorrhage, dead.
Okay.
So he met my dad, and my dad told him story because I was in the plaster
Right.
that time.
Right.
They're like, what happened to him? They're like, he fell from the 9th floor. He's like, how? How did he survive?
I'm also right now thinking
And imagine on stainless steel.
on direct flat, no
Flat.
cushion, direct
Yes,
steel.
yes, yes, yes.
Literally, sir, getting goosebumps right now.
They say no,
Yeah.
जाको रखे साइया मार सके ना कोई.
I think we'll have to do a second podcast with you because this itself is a totally new dimension to talk about. Because there are so many things which we see, but there are even more things which we don't see, and yet they are.
Yes, yes.
And a living example is you, who face something, and because of that, with that perhaps empathy and safety precautions, you have saved more lives out at sea.
And because of this, you have safety every time.
Right.
My seniors used to sleep on the bridge when we were cadets.
Yeah.
They get a shawl,
Then that's
stroll, and
comfortable
full
and-
packed, and the chief mates, they sleep because you're there on the watch.
Yeah.
But that is the time I made sure that I used to talk to myself that whenever I become an officer, I will never sleep on a watch. Whether it is whoever, the senior cadet
Absolutely.
or anybody with you, third officer.
Absolutely.
I never leave my third officer alone. Maybe for 20, 30 minutes, I'm going for a breakfast or dinner. Otherwise, I never leave them alone. Because you never know, maybe they are in an emergency. They want a
Absolutely.
break.
They need
a break.
some-
They leave the bridge unmanned
Yeah.
and go to the pilot toilet.
Absolutely. And
In those fraction of seconds, anything can happen.
absolutely. I think that's a big takeaway also from this podcast for all of us, not just shippies or seafarers, but the entire community who watches this. That even a moment or a fraction of a second, you lose your concentration, or perhaps someone else you loses that concentration,
Yeah.
your life or other person's
Yeah,
life,
because they are sleeping, that
Yeah.
you're on watch.
and you're on watch.
Like you're on second
Absolutely,
mate.
I understand.
So
sir.
12 to 4 is where you get the maximum
sleep, your
That's
body, your circadian rhythm,
slum sleep,
slumps,
they call.
Yeah.
So, people are relying on you when you're on the bridge. You cannot sleep. I don't sleep still. I travel anywhere.
Yeah, so you're awake all the time, conscious
Yeah.
of.
Whether I'm on a flight, I never sleep. I went to Bahamas, so it's like 2 day missed from your life because your travel
Right,
is
right.
2 days.
2 days, yeah.
Yeah,
Time zone.
Time zone. So I didn't sleep. Once I reached my ship, I sleep.
Captain Siddharth, first of all, the whole room right now is honored to have you here. And thank you for sharing so openly and so candidly about what happened with you in your cadetship. I think people will be hesitant to even speak about it, but you were very candid and open, and really appreciate that fact.
Thank you.
Saying that, we'll have to have you back because those are the events which change the entire perspective of life. And I would really want to get in your head and understand from my understanding of life also what is in fact the true reality of nature and existence. That is already in my head cooking up. But for now, sir, deeply grateful and honored
Thank you so much.
to have you here. Any last message you want to give for the audience?
Never lose hope.
Absolutely. Like those fishermen also,
Yeah.
and the lady in the
They could have given up.
could have given up.
Yes. There's always a hope. There's always a silver line, we say, at the equator.
Absolutely. Thank you, Captain Siddharth.
It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. So that was Captain Siddharth Sharma on the KSN show. Towards the end, I fell into a zone where I could not even speak or perhaps ask a question because the intensity in his eyes of perhaps him falling from that hatch and the rescues he's conducted was so sharp. It was literally like he was looking into my soul. That's what I felt. I hope you all learned a lot about salvage operations, rescue operations, what is happening in shipping and stuff like that. Don't forget to comment what was the best part, which was your takeaway, and also do mention who all you would like to see on this show. Signing off, KSN. See you back next Thursday.